Okay, boys, we are back. I don't really love to explain a lot, but I'll explain from the other pairs, the other perspective. So, what I'm gonna do is that since I'm not so good with explaining on small accounts, I'll go back to the other pair. This is the 80k account. We took this account literally from 16k, then we took it to 80. But that's not the main thing that I'm looking at in this video. I want you to look at gold from the high time frame. This is the H12, okay? I want you to look at it from the H6 so that you can see clearly what I'm saying. What do you see from price? You see that so far, price is extremely what? Bullish. Now, most of you guys, you draw your indicators like this. You know that underneath this level, price is what? Bearish. What happened? Price came above this second zone and bought. So, once price buys above a zone, that is the first indication that it's going to become what? Bullish. Okay, so we had the first indication once price gave us this breakout. If you guys observe, this was the small breakout that we had. Price came and we tested that level the second time, but it failed to make what? A level of support, a strong level of resistance. That means that price was able to go above this zone. Now, what happens if price breaks above a zone? It's bullish, all right? It's bullish. So now this was the indication that we had. Price was bullish. Usually, when I get the indication like this, I usually enter in my trades. So what most of you guys could have done, if you had a buy here, would have been in almost 68k if you are able to trade. But of course now you couldn't have seen that because there was no indication in that. But if you want to the low time frame, this is the H1, right? This is the H1. What do you observe from the H1? Price is showing you what? Bearish momentum. Okay, what do you observe? Hey, price is telling you, hey, I'm selling underneath this level. I'm selling. So it goes underneath this level, it makes a lower high and makes a lower low. What happened? Price came above this lower high. Okay, if you observe, this was the next zone which was nearer to the what? So we had a lower high over here. Price broke above this lower high. Let me just show you guys, because this is a very clean setup. This is something that you can take not just for granted. This is something that can actually just change your life. Okay, we see that above this level, what happened? Price gave you the indication. Above this level, price was making a what? A lower high. So once price broke above this zone, what happened? What was in your mind at that area? It was giving you the signs already that above this area is going to what? Push higher. So what happened? Price made this pullback. Now once price made this pullback, of course now most of you guys will be like, oh, but Kevin, price has already given us a bearish continuation. Maybe this was a liquidity grab. Well, we don't know whether it's a liquidity grab or a continuation. What do you wait? You wait for price to come above that same zone. Guys, it's literally as simple as that. You wait for price, okay? You wait for price to come above the same zone. Remember that zone where I showed you guys that, hey, price is going to become bullish above this area. What happened? Price sold and then came above the level. That was the indication move. We had the correction, and then this was during the New York session. Price came above that same zone. What in the world would you even, why in the world would you even hesitate to take your sales here, to take your buys? Sorry, you can even enter with a minimal lot, 0.01. You take your buys here. Most of you guys are questioning where I put your stop loss. Remember, this is ICC. ICC is all about volume. If you have volume in the market, you don't even have to worry about stop loss, because when you have volume, usually price usually goes, if your direction is right, price usually doesn't even have to retest. It's like a sniper entry. Here you could have taken your buys. Stop loss could have been anywhere from underneath this area. That's around $51, right? $50 or $60. You're making over, even this gap over here could have been a stop loss, $29. And how much are you making right now? At the peak you're making over $100. Here you're making over how much? $126. So see that the price action is always key, because it already gives you the direction of the market. It's not like price just comes out of the blue and sells. No, there is a reason. There is something behind price selling. There is something behind price buying. Because remember, you're dealing with a high time frame. That means that if there's a shift, something is likely to be causing that shift, right? So for you guys who missed out this entry, I don't blame you, because most of you guys, your mindset was shifted that price has to sell. Even Trades by Sai took sales actually, and he lost around here because he was selling, and then underneath this level we're selling, expecting that price could potentially have the same push downward. What happened is that price instead had this massive push. But if you are able to spot this from the H1 perspective, you will not have lost much. You would literally not have lost much, because let me just show you guys how clean this setup was. If maybe let's say you are here, you are selling, okay, where would you put your stop loss? Now most of you guys are even I would say that you are blessed that you have big accounts. Let's say you have a $1,000 account. Where would your stop loss be? For instance, Trades by Sai was selling, and his sell position was there. The stop loss was just above this area, above here. That's around $74 if you're using a 0.01 position. And then the TP was around $40. But now it was going to be a trailing what? Take profit. But you could have limited your stop loss. If price went above you, like around here, that's when you could have closed out. Alright? And then if price came underneath again, that's when you would have taken another entry for sale. But be observant. Try to be observant of market structure, because market structure tells you literally everything about there is in the market. Market structure will show you that I'm buying above this level. Even someone told me that you could have spotted this entry from here. If you observe, price is making what? Higher levels of support at this area over here. We are selling, but then price started to make higher levels of support. What does that give? It gives that market is likely to start buying. So Kati, where would you take your buys? Probably, if you're a good trader, this could have been your indication, okay? Because we know that above this level price was selling, but then we had a breakout. This was the indication move, and then the correction, and then the continuation. We would have even bought from here. This move, you would have caught this whole move to the upside, and then once price started to shift structure, that's when we would have closed out. All right. So ICC isn't just. I'm trying to be as objective as possible, because I feel like most of us, the reason we miss most of these good entries is because our minds are really stuck from the old stuff. Our minds are stuck from what would happen if I take this entry and it doesn't work out. No. Take the entry, take the risk, and shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up. That's literally all you have to do. Just have to shut the hell up and just leave the market do its thing. You're going to make lots of money by shutting the fuck up, right? So, yeah. Yeah. So with that said, I want to wish you guys a happy trading journey, but most of all, I want you guys to always be blessed with more and more trading opportunities this year. Alright, inshallah.